Hi, this is Kerry Artak with wickedstocks.com, bringing you your daily NVIDIA report from Monday, April 14th, 2025. Let's start with this chart. We came roaring back late last week after opening for 2 weeks in a row, really, below the 110.54 channel bottom, anticipating 79.64 as our next objective. That's been a bit neutralized following last Friday's settlement back above 110.54, but it was by a hair. And under most circumstances, I would say, deserves another day or two. Let's see where this goes. But over the weekend, the Trump administration did announce the suspension or the relaxing of tariffs as it pertains to laptops, smartphones, microchips, etc. So Apple and NVIDIA will probably have a decent update today just based on that information alone. It actually could be significant. But let's jump into the chart here right now. We've got 110.86. We did close above that level on Friday by a hair, 110.93. Once again, everything was just by a degree. But I'm going to assume that we're going to open well above this area. And if we do, then I would anticipate 120.05. 120.05 is a descending 3-month channel top that may well contain today's highs. I do think it's in reach today if we open above 110.86. So that is the day trade to the upside. Opening above 110.86, we have minor points all the way up, but really it's 120.05 is the next sort of take profits on a long position. That's short term for the day only. And do you go short here? I think those of you who are experienced day traders, you can go short. Keep a relatively tight stop loss because, the settlement last week just above the 110.12 formation and just above Thursday's 110.86 high does indicate 129.44 as a likely 1 to 2 week target, and that is still in play. And if we were to close today above 120.05, we should see 129.44 within just another 2 to 3 days. So we could see this by the end of this week if we close today above 120.05. But there is this other scenario where we test 120.05, we back off into the 110 handle and fill this wedge out for a day or two perhaps before then closing above 120.05. And then, the 127.72, the 5/8 upside Fibonacci over the last few months, and the 129.44 descending 2/3 speed line become kind of a 2 to 3 day target following a settlement above 120.05. But once again, if you went long last Friday on the close, anticipating 129.44 as a 1 to 2, 2 to 3 week target, I have no problem with that. I think that's a good play. You want to see the market open today above 110.86, just know that there'll likely be trouble at 120.05 that may test your patience, but if you're in it for the next couple of weeks, that shouldn't be an issue. If you've yet to go long, closing above 120.05 is your next short-term play up to 129.44 within several days. At 129.44, and on the weekly chart we have it at 130.52, we may raise that later in the week if we happen to approach it because it is a higher level that I don't want to ignore. And really, it is a settlement then above 130.52 over the next week, 2 or 3 that would tell me good low for the year and NVIDIA likely to continue onward and upward to this newly formed rising channel top at 167.93. That is based on the recent lows, last week's lows projected against this intermediate high from 24, earlier 24, 167.93, an objective. 2 to 3 months, I think, following a settlement above 130.52. Until then, I'm not convinced we're going to see the upper 160s anytime soon unless we were to close above 130.52. We are, after all, in the midst of a trade war still, and this thing hasn't fleshed out entirely. We have a 90-day pause, which lends uncertainty. So I do think we can see a significant rally this week and next, once again into the upper 120s, and then I think the market can take a pause, if you will, and fall away perhaps to new lows, fall away perhaps back to longer term channel support on the weekly chart at 79.64. And under that scenario, and I'll use this chart to make that point, we test 130.52. Certainly falling back into the 110 handle will offer decent support for day traders and 2 to 3 week swing traders. But if you're looking at the big picture, I do think after testing 130.52, if we do, we can fall all the way back to, longer term channel support that we find here at 79.64. I just don't have them both in the same image. So once again, let me say that one more time, that once we test the low 130s, we can fall back into the upper 170s and climbing within a month or two of doing so. And of course, on the way down, 110.54 will have pivot point qualities on a near-term basis, but I don't see it as a long-term level just yet. I'm not convinced of aggressive gains. We did almost put out a key reversal low last week, but we didn't by a hair. We didn't close above the previous week's high. We did close above 110.54 by a hair. And yes, we did close, above the 110.86, a high from last Thursday by a hair. So we're in the buy mentality, near term only, by a degree. And I'm assuming we're going to open higher on Monday morning, given the news that hit over the weekend with respect to exempting, laptops and microchips, et cetera, et cetera. Now, downside, if we do, for whatever reason, fall away and open below 110.12, this 97.50, 5/8 Fibonacci may be in reach today. We have minor points all the way down, well suited for aggressive day traders. But if you're looking for kind of the 1 to 3 day swing trade, if we open clearly below 110.12, there is the possibility, we've seen that volatility here over the last week, of 97.50 on an intraday basis. I will say that if we close today below 110.12, I don't see a good reason to stay long or be long if that's what you did on Friday, no longer anticipating that speed line at 130.52, but rather if we close back below, the 110.86 level, 97.50 within several days, and the risk is still then to the downside into the lower 80s, upper 90s, 79.64 to 81.97. Once again, on that weekly chart, you can see it here. 79.64 is a rising 2-year channel bottom. 81.97 is a downside 50% retracement from that significant October 22 low against that recent January high. Is there anything else to say? I don't know. Please click like, share, subscribe. Check out wickedstocks.com. Take advantage of our 5-day free trial. We put out 2 stock picks last week, CVS Healthcare Systems, GE Vernova. There are not high-tech stocks, but they're both in the precipice of significant buy signals as we move into the third quarter. You might want to check them out. If you also take advantage of that 5-day free trial, you'll see our 2 stock picks this week that have yet to be determined. Our daily triple Q, our daily SPY analysis, our weekly Apple stock analysis. Apple is a great trading vehicle right now. You might want to see that as well. And you'll see it all for free by going to wickedstocks.com. I think that does it actually for the day. I will be back tomorrow with Tuesday's NVIDIA report, and you have a great day.